Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TBS Men's Club Special Edition Sports Trivia Night with a special guest, Aaron Jacobson. Well, let me just say, as a sports fan, sports fanatic, I listen to our local Tampa-based radio station, 620 WDAE, and I'm going to let Aaron do a full plug with all the different numbers and letters that go along with it. And one day, several years ago, I was surprised to hear the name Aaron Jacobson on the air. I think originally he was behind the glass, as they say, as a producer. Aaron, of course, is the son of Jake Jacobson and Emma Joels, who's a past president. He's a Sarasota boy, bar mitzvah here, TBS, and baseball player. Played with my son. They're about the same age. So we'll fast forward, and Aaron has his own show. For those of you who don't know, if you tune into 620 at 12 o'clock, Monday through Friday, it's the Pat and Aaron Show. And I know his folks are real proud of him, and I'm proud of him because I've listened to him work his way through the producer to the weekend, to the tough gigs, and now he's got his own show. So I listen to this show on and off, and I catch different parts. He and Pat do a lot of shticks, for lack of a better word. And one caught my eye. Caught my ear, I should say. It was a Jeopardy-like segment, and they chose to call it "I Drink and I Know Stuff." And that's what sort of gave us the idea to put this together for y'all tonight. So with the technical help of Elliot Korn and Joel Servitz, the Men's Club will present this to you. Our version, which we are going to call I Drink and I Kvetch a Lot. Before I turn the Zoom over to our special MC, I'm going to explain a little bit more detail how it's going to work. The contestants, which you'll hear about them, and they'll introduce themselves. They'll have some categories that our MC will go over. After the questions completed, Joel is actually going to help our MC Jake Jacobson recognize the person that first went into the chat room to answer the question. After that, the other contestants will have a chance to answer the question if it's not correct. And after that, if none of them know the answers, we're going to throw it out to all of you. You can go into the chat room, put your name. Joel will be able to see who's first. Then you'll unmute yourself, and then you can answer the question. Now, you won't get points if you get the question right, but you will have a chance for you to be part of the prize, and I'll explain that in a second. Tonight's grand prize is going to be the Yiddish Cup, and let me see if I can do this here. Can everyone see the Yiddish Cup here? Now, if it looks familiar to you, it's not what you think. I know it has another name. It's also known as the Mordechai Cup, named after Lord Mordechai. And the winner gets it, and for those in the audience who get correct questions, your name also can be engraved on that cup. So at this point, I'd like to introduce our MC for the evening, following in the footstep of Alex Trebek of blessed memory. And I would just like to say on a serious note that, Alex was known to be a true mensch, and he really was an icon. And so we'll dedicate this program to his recent passing. But Jake Jacobson's also a mensch, and so he's gonna take us through this tonight. The only thing I'll say about Jake is that, like myself, he's a little bit computer Zoom challenged. Fortunately, we have Emma Joels, who is not only here at Jake's side, but helped in preparing the questions for tonight. Emma will be there standing at his side. Joel and Elliot are behind him technically. And I figured out just the right amount of Xanax for Jake to get through this evening. So I just want to mention one other thing, talking about computer expertise. I spent a lot of time getting ready for this myself. I wanted you to have a visual because again, the difference between the Zoom and Aaron's radio show is that we can see each other and we can see stuff, like the cup, for instance. So I made a little bit of a scoreboard, and because of my prowess with both cameras and computers, when I finally got it all ready.
Lost him.
He muted himself by mistake.
Andy, you muted yourself.
Unmute.
Did he unmute or did he accidentally disconnect?
He's muted.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. There you go.
This happens on my radio show sometimes.
Can't get unmuted. Maybe
Oh.
somebody does it on
You
purpose.
know what? You know, Andy needs Gina.
Gina, let him know.
Gina,
Uh-oh.
can you go rescue him?
Somebody throw a rock at his window.
How do you know it wasn't Gina who muted him?
Ah,
I feel bad. He was just getting to the fancy board. He was so excited.
Yeah.
He did it once.
there he is, but
No,
we can't hear
yeah, we
him.
can't hear him.
Tell Gina to unmute him.
Gina,
He's trying to do
to
something.
help him.
Oh, there we go. Oh, you got it. There you go.
Like I got it. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that says it all. It took me a minute it was the longest unmute in the history of Zoom. But as you can see, this is hieroglyphics here because it's a mirror image. I'm going to circle the value amounts from time to time and try to flash it up, although it's easier said than done. They'll be color-coded, and Jake will also be checking with the official scorekeeper, who is also Emma Joel's, wearing a lot of hats tonight, and try to keep everyone in. So without further ado, Jake Jacobson.
Andy, thank you. It's an honor to be a part of this. I see applause. That's great. No, but it's great. You've put this thing together, so a lot of kudos to you, and thank you for all the, not only participants, but the people who are viewing us right now, live on Zoom, which is terrific. All right, couple of things. Andy wanted me, and this is very difficult for me to talk about myself, but Andy wanted me to give you a little, synopsis of my life. I am 62 years old, born and raised in New York, and moved to Sarasota, Florida with my wife, Emma Joels. You know her, you might not know me. She was a past president with Rob Katz for 2.5 years. And with our two sons at the time, 4 and 5, Aaron Jacobson, who is a participant tonight, my son Josh Jacobson, moved here in 1994, and we've been here and loving it ever since. My career started in TV around July of 1994. I spent 4.5 years with ABC 7 right here, Channel 40 at the time. And there I started off as an editor and moved up to be a feature goofy type reporter. And at the same time, there was a minor league basketball league called the USBL. And from 1994 to 1996 on 3 simulcasted stations in the area, I was the play-by-play guy who won and watched and recorded 2 championships with the Florida Sharks. During that time, I was working at ABC 7, as I said, for 4.5 years, had a lot of fun there. And then as my son, who is a part of iHeartRadio, the umbrella of Clear Channel and all that, I was asked to do a radio show from 1999 to 2005, 6 years doing a sports talk radio show in the area called The Scott and Jake Show. We were prime time from 4 to 7 at 1320 WAMR, The Whammer, which again went 6 years. And we went to numerous Super Bowls, including the Buccaneers Super Bowl back in 2003. We did shows from Radio Row, which is like a meat market of the greatest athletes and sports figures and anybody in any entertainment field, which was just a dream come true. From there, they moved me over to part of the iHeartRadio, which is probably the #1 station in the area, 107.9, Oldies 108 at the time. I worked as a producer / sidekick for the Jones and Crane show, which was an amazing time, but I missed kind of the limelight, and I went back to an independent station called WTMY 1280, where I did a show with a very talented woman named Christy Fletcher, and it was called Afternoons with Jake and Fletch. And we did that for 2 years, from 2008 to 2010. And then I passed it on to my son, Aaron Jacobson, who has really taken control, and Andy laid it out beautifully, and I thank you for all the kudos to my son, Aaron Jacobson, but a wonderful son and a wonderful talent. He is one of the participants in tonight's I Drink and I Fetch a Lot, and I will be drinking tonight. Well, I ask the questions and have some fun with not only the participants, but all the viewers involved. So, without further ado, enough about me. Let's meet one of our participants. He's the co-host of the Pat and Aaron Show, heard weekdays Monday through Friday, 12 to 3 on 95.3 FM and 620 WDAE AM. My son, who I love and proud of as my wife Emma Joel's, is Aaron Jacobson.
Thank you, Dad. Appreciate it. And as you can see, that's where I get it from. And I drink and I know things. We came up with that at first because Pat and I said, what's an excuse where we can drink on the radio? So we said, if we make a game out of it and just call it what it is, we'll be able to drink on the radio. So that's how it kind of started, and it ballooned into a good segment where we just have a lot of fun. So first of all, thank you for having me today. I am Aaron Jacobson, 95.3 WDA AM 620, the Pat and Aaron Show. I've been working for iHeartMedia for 8 years. Actually, 2 weeks ago was my 8-year anniversary at iHeartMedia. And I grew up in Sarasota. Obviously, like my dad just said, 1994 is when we came here, and grew up under the Temple Beth Sholom umbrella. It's something that was very important to me early on. I was bar mitzvahed there as well. And it's after my bar mitzvah, I continued to study in Sarasota. And my dad from 99 to 05 was doing a sports radio show. And, you know, I was 9 through 15, and it was something I loved. I got to watch it. I got to see it. I loved the anonymity of radio, being able to kind of paint the picture for everyone. So it's something I was hungry for early. I loved TV. I thought that was cool. But the radio, the aspect of the behind the scenes in radio and the anonymity was very interesting to me. So when I went to school, I went to the University of Tampa. After graduating, I went to high school at St. Stephen's in Bradenton, and decided to stay close enough to home where I could come home for a nice meal, especially on a Friday night, do a Shabbat dinner at home in Sarasota, which we all enjoy every Friday night. So when I started at University of Tampa, I was interested in getting into radio. I wanted to see what the radio program at UT was all about. And I remember going into the radio station, their beautiful station, and nobody was there. Nobody was working it. So I decided to sign up for the class, ask some questions, and found out they had, you know, everything available to us, but nobody really wanted to take part in it. It wasn't very cool. It wasn't hip. But I looked at that as my playground. I said, nobody's taking advantage of all these beautiful, you know, this facility that we have in front of us. So for 4 years, I did terrible radio at the University of Tampa. Just trying things out, testing things, having fun, failing, learning from my failures there. I ended up running the radio station as a junior, and part of my senior year there, I started running the radio station, and I just loved it. And I knew I had to get an internship. At that point, my dad was out of radio, and connections that I had made through him. I knew people that had worked in Sarasota that had moved to Tampa, and I was lucky enough to get one of the last internships, because we're not allowed to have interns anymore at iHeart. So got my internship. I was working under, I don't know if MJ Morning Show, Todd Schnitt, started working under him. And that's it. Andy was saying it earlier. I was working behind the scenes, working behind the glass, working many, many hours for nothing. Just trying to, make my, comeuppance in the business and do what I could to show that I was valuable and committed. And the next thing I know, I met this guy, Pat Donovan, and we started doing podcasts, sports podcasts. And kind of behind the scenes, I found my avenue working for a morning show, AM Tampa Bay, on News Radio WFLA. So I do that as well from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on AM 970. And I started as a producer and worked my way up and slipped my way into a co-hosting role eventually. But the Pat and Aaron Show is something that grew from a podcast. And then we got a Saturday show, an opportunity on Saturday. And that's actually where Andy first reached out to me years ago when we were doing a weekend show. As he said, I knew Alex very well growing up. So that was always cool. It was cool to make that connection. And we have a lot of listeners in Sarasota. I've noticed we have a text line. So any number that comes in, I see 941 and I get excited. That's my hometown. So I feel a lot of pride. I feel a lot of pride coming from Sarasota and the community, and I carry it with me. If you ever listen to the show, I talk about Sarasota quite often. Coming back, I talk about my dad, his lack of wearing clothes at home. That's part of the show. My mom is a big part of the show. She'll call in from time to time. She'll be our legal expert. So I love making my family, I love making Sarasota a part of what, because it's a part of my roots. So I love using that and implementing that in the show and feeling that tie to my hometown. So Pat and I, continued growing in the business. We have our own show now where you can hear that Monday through Friday, noon to 3. I'm very proud of it, very excited to have it, honored to have it. It's something that I always dreamed of doing, listening to 620 growing up. Sorry, Dad, I know it was a competitor of his growing up, but I loved it. I heard, Steve Dumig, rest in peace. He passed away 2 years ago. Ron and Ian, Ron Diaz, Ian Beckles. These are people, Chris Thomas, for a little bit. These are people that I heard and I knew and I respected, and now I'm living it. I'm living that, and I'm so excited to do it. I've got to do things, the Super Bowl. I've got to be at the Army-Navy game, a Philadelphia fan here. I've been to Philadelphia and been to the Army-Navy game twice, which is some of the best experiences I've ever had. So I've just been so lucky, blessed to be able to do it, and that's it. It's just been such a fun ride, and I hope to be doing it for a very long time and use my voice for good. It's something that during hurricanes, as we have here, I realize I got a community voice and I try to use it. So I'm still learning every day, and I love the fact that I can come out and talk about my roots that are tied to everyone here. And like I said, I continue to do it for a very long time. And now you'll get to see some of what we do on the show. We have one game, I Drink and I Know Things, and I Drink and I Kvetch tonight. So that will be it. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you all for having me.
All right. And we're back to me, Jake Jacobson, part of the I Drink and I Fetch a Lot. And if you ask my wife, Emma Joels, past president, her as I do fetch a lot. Like, what do we have at dinner, honey? All right, that'll come up shortly. But, all right, let's get, Andy, are we ready to get started?
Well, we're just going to introduce our other two contestants.
That was my thing. First of all, thank you, Andy, for really getting all this together. Joel Servitz and Elliot Korn, you guys have been tremendous. And really, we had a small testing time a couple of weeks ago, and now we're just shooting it from the hip. And I know this is going to be a lot of fun. And again, for all you that we see on the Zoom, thank you for being a part of this. And we will have some questions for you too. So be ready to participate. All right. Also, our participants will get a brief history of themselves. First, let's talk to Paul Leichter. Paul, we thank you for being a participant. Give us a little history of yourself.
My history isn't quite as long as that one, but I grew up in North Jersey in Bergen County, 5 miles from Yankee Stadium. I know Jake doesn't like that. But I also went to Shea, and I also went to games when the Mets were at Polo Grounds, so I'm sure you'd be real happy with that. Went to college in West Virginia, and medical school in Newark, New Jersey, and had my car stolen several times, so I decided I wasn't going to stay there. And then from there I went to Gainesville. I was in Gainesville for 4 years back in the 1970s. I've been in Sarasota with OBGYN since 1978. And I was hired last year after approximately 5,000 babies. And now I love sleeping through the night, which I didn't realize I was missing for 45 years. So it's better than I thought it would be. And that's pretty much it. So, we grew up there. I guess I was like 12 years old when I realized that the World Series didn't have to be played in New York City, but they could play it in another city. It was always the Giants and the Dodgers and the Yankees that were playing. So that's it.
All right. Thank you, Paul. That's Paul Leichter, part of the participants. And our final and third, but last but not least, let's hear from Michael Katz. Michael, give us a brief history of yourself, please.
Thanks, Jake. My wife Wendy and I moved to Sarasota and joined Temple Beth Sholom in 1977. And we have 4 children who were all bar mitzvah, b'nai mitzvah here, and several weddings as well. I was involved in the temple, many different boards for many years. Grew up and still am Philadelphia fan, unfortunately. Those of you who don't follow Philadelphia sports, I can give you real quick history. Our last Super Bowl, Stanley Cup was in 1975. Our last basketball championship was in 1983. And the Philadelphia Phillies, the baseball team, hold the record for most losses in a franchise. And I've won 2 World Series, the last one in 2008. So I've suffered until 2017 when the Eagles finally won a Super Bowl. So I see you, Stan. So it's a burden being a Philadelphia sports fan. What can I tell you? Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Okay, part of the deal is, just so you know, Emma's from England. I'm from New York. Quickly on this, our first date in
come on,
1985.
enough.
We are Met fans, all right? And that's Citi Field behind me. All right, it's time to get started with I drink and I fetch a lot for the Yiddish Cup. No Googling whatsoever from anybody, from our participants to you, the viewers, all right? We see you, so we know what you're doing. All right, Andy, are we ready?
Right. Music, maestro.
Okay.
All right, there are 3 categories: Northeast sports, Tampa Bay sports, and Jewish sports. There'll be figures of 200, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000 units, dollars, whatever you want to call it. But every time an answer is incorrect, that person will lose only $200. And at the end, like Jeopardy, we'll have a last call, and that question will be worth whatever they decide to put up in that situation. So are you guys ready? Give me a wave of the hands. Okay. Andy, who are we starting with?
MC's choice.
All right.
We'll let our guest, we'll let Aaron take the first question.
All right. All right. Aaron, you have your choice again. Northeast sports, Tampa Bay sports, or Jewish sports?
Northeast sports 200, please.
All right. Northeast sports for 200. The New York Yankees have retired 22 players' numbers over the years. That's a long time. 2 players have the same number and were retired together on the same date, July 22nd, 1972. You have 2, you can answer this 2 ways. Who are they, or what was their number?
First one into the chat. I'll call you out.
All right. New York Yankees, 22 players' numbers over the years that were retired. 2 players had the same number retired on the same day in 1972. They are Hall of Famers. Who are they, or what are their numbers?
So far, I've got nobody.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I'll give you.
Okay, Marshall Horowitz is the first one in.
All right, so we're going to the audience?
We'll go to the audience.
Yeah, I don't know that. one.
Marshall Horowitz is in.
Marshall?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, so Marshall Horowitz, unmute yourself and answer.
My guess is Yogi Berra and Mickey Mantle.
Well, you only had to get one. And 2 players had the same number. Okay, you got one of them. And that would be Yogi Berra. There's one more. Again, they had the same number. I understand.
I bet you
Marshall
Marshall.
talking to me as we're doing this.
I bet you Marshall knows the number.
9.
No, incorrect.
I'm from Massachusetts.
I will tell you what.
Oh, Sasher down the bottom is waving.
Yeah.
Yes. Paul,
Yeah,
you got an answer on that?
I certainly do. Bill Dickey, and it was number 8.
That is correct.
Wow.
So we give him.
2 catchers.
Paul got half the credit. We're going to give him I'm the MC. I'm giving him $200 for that.
Who?
I quit.
Paul gets $200 for the answer was Yogi Berra and Bill Dickey, both Hall of Famers at number 8. Emma's looking at me quizzically.
How many points?
He gets 200.
Well, he only got 1.
I don't care. The rules are.
No,
Points.
And thank you, Marshall, for
tough
having
question.
the answer.
We don't have to. Emma doesn't have to keep track of the audience.
Yes, you don't have to. Okay, I'll give you a bonus question to the audience. Who, what, and who, or who and what is the last number to be retired by the Yankees. The most recent number is who? Paul, you have that?
Right here, right?
Anybody?
Okay, Paul is up first. Go ahead, Paul.
Paul?
Paul, what's your answer, Paul?
Can you hear me? I have to unmute myself. Hang on.
Go ahead. I hear you. Go ahead.
Hear me? Was it number 2? No.
Is it
Not
2?
number- Yeah. Yeah.
Jake
that's what I
Paul
said.
is saying 2.
Yes.
We can't hear Jake right now.
Can't hear him.
Uh-oh, we lost our host.
He's not muted, but we can't
What is
hear.
his name?
It's unmuted now.
We're all hanging on the edge of our seat.
The answer is Derek Jeter, number 2. Okay.
Got it.
All right.
Now
Got it.
the
Very good.
president and owner of the Florida Marlins. All right, Paul, you are up now with the next question. So you got the answer right. Do you want Northeast sports, Tampa Bay sports, or Jewish sports?
Another Northeast sports.
Hold on one second. We had a different Paul that got the answers right. All right, so we're at 0 right now.
Yeah.
Right. No points for the bonus questions
Okay.
to the contestants.
My apologies. All right, we're going to go back to Aaron then.
No.
Why not?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but just roll through. We'll go to 400. Just roll through these. 400.
Northeast
Can you hear me?
sports. Northeast sports for 400. In the 4 major team sports, there are 2 athletes with 11 championship rings. Name one of them.
All right, Aaron Jacobson, you're up first. Your
We'll
answer.
go with Bill Russell.
That is correct. That is $400 to Aaron Jacobson. The 4 major team sports that have 2 athletes with 11 championships rings. One was Bill Russell. Does anybody by chance know who the other one was? It was in hockey, NHL. Anybody?
Robert Flegel came in after Aaron. Go ahead, Robert.
I was going to say Russell in case someone didn't get that one. I'll guess Richard with the Canadians.
Bingo. Good job.
Good. Okay.
That was a tough second question.
There we go.
That was an easy one. Very good. Very impressive.
All
All
right.
right. Aaron gets $400 for that answer. Are we going with Northeast, Tampa Bay, or Jewish sports for
Northeast for 600.
All right. Northeast sports for 600. Aaron Jacobson, Emma Jones, will you give the score right now?
Aaron Jacobson has 400. Michael Katz is still on 0 on the board, and Paul is also 0 on the board.
Well, you got to love the enthusiasm. Thank you. Nicole. Okay. In his 5 years with the Philadelphia Flyers, you got this, Michael Katz? What a rivalry. Broad Street Bullies. This hockey goon had over 10 minutes of penalties for every point he scored. Who would it be?
Okay, Marshall, you're up. Go.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Wait. Marshall is not a participant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just remember, if you're not a participant, put your initials. Don't put the answer in the chat.
Yeah. Sorry about
Let
that.
me run the program here. I got this. I got my drink and I catch a lot, all right?
Doing
All right.
great.
Does anybody know who that goon was that had 10 minutes of penalties for every point he scored? The ratio is horrible.
Time out. I'm typing in my initial to everyone. Am I doing that wrong?
No, go ahead.
Give
Well,
it
no,
a chance,
right.
Bob.
Dave hasn't seen it.
But I haven't seen yours.
I haven't seen it either.
No.
Well, then because
Are you hitting
am I supposed to
return
be
after
doing
you
my-
type?
who am I
Make
typing
sure you're typing to everyone as opposed to one person.
It's
who am I
okay.
supposed to be typing to?
Yeah, I'm
You
not
can
seeing
type
it.
to everyone and make sure you hit return after you type.
Yeah, hit the return.
There you
Okay,
go.
Michael Katz, you're up.
Who is Dave Schultz? Dave Schultz.
That is correct. And I will tell you, Michael, you'll know this. Back in the 70s, the Broad Street Bullies and the Rangers had this great rivalry. Every game was a war. Those were probably the most exciting hockey times of my life. I'm sure you'll agree with that.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Remember who Dave Schultz killed in a fight and turned the series around against the Rangers?
Yeah. Oh boy, the defenseman, long, lean defenseman.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Derek Sanderson.
No, he was
His
from
initials
Boston.
are DR. DR.
CR?
D is in Dale.
Oh yeah, Dale Schultz, Dale Schleich.
Dale Rolfe. Dale Rolfe.
Thank you. But I did know it. All right. And by the way, the greatest, probably most fun hockey player of those Broad Street Bullies is probably Bobby Clark. All right, Michael, you are up. You have how many points? You have 600. You have taken the lead over Aaron by 200. We have Northeast Sports for 800 or 1,000, Tampa Bay Sports or Jewish Sports. What would you like to do?
Stay with Northeast Sports for 800.
All right. Who is the first NHL player to be Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year?
Paul, you're up. Go.
Wayne Gretzky?
That is incorrect. Anybody else? You got Aaron or Michael? Anybody know the first NHL player to be Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year? I'll give you a hint. It started.
Michael Katz, go.
Michael?
I was going to say Bobby Orr.
Correct. Bobby Orr, 1970. We have a bonus question here. Thank you, Andy, for the bonus question.
Oh, wait, that
This
was
is for
800?
this is for our viewers. All right. And Michael, you got $800 on that one.
Points.
Points. Who, for our bonus for the viewers, who is the next NHL Man of the Year? Who won the next NHL Man of the Year? Anybody? 1982.
Robert Flegler, you're up. Go.
I think that would be Gretzky.
All right. Robert's doing very well. He could have been we should add a fourth as a participant.
Yeah.
Good job. All right. So, right.
Mike gets to choose next. 'cause-
All right, we'll do that. Emma, give us a quick update on the scoring, please.
Aaron Jacobson has 400 points. Michael Katz is zoomed into the lead with 1,400. And Paul is yet to get on the scoreboard.
All right.
Come on,
Remember,
Paul.
I thought I was on the board, though. So I answered the Derek Jeter question, and you gave it away.
Oh,
you
All
have to
right,
take
so
one
Northeast 4,000.
good job.
if somebody got it wrong.
He did, but he hasn't any points. So
Then
he's
he-
minus 200.
Yes, he's minus 200.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Paul
Paul.
is minus 200.
Okay.
All right, I owe you.
You are watching and zooming and viewing. I drink a lot and I fetch a lot.
Question, who gets the Amana side-by-side refrigerator freezer?
All right. I am Jake Jacobson. Thank you again for the participants, Aaron Jacobson, Paul Leichter, and Michael Katz. Michael, you're up next.
That's what we call a reset in radio, by the way, a reset.
Thank you. TV as
Very
well.
nice.
Northeast Sports for 1,000 or Tampa Bay Sports.
Sports
Jewish
Northeast,
Sports. What would you like?
Northeast for 1,000.
Okay. The Oakland Raiders introduced their official mascot, Raider Rusher, in 2013. The Washington team, which would be the Washington football team now, the Packers, and these two NFL teams do not have official mascots. So Washington and the Packers don't have it, and there are two other teams that have not, since 2013, added a mascot.
We've never had a mascot.
Who would they be that do not have mascots? Two teams. We'll make it, all you have to do is get one.
Two NFL teams?
Two NFL teams do not have mascots. You give me one, and you get the answer right for 1,000.
All right, Paul, you're up.
Browns?
Incorrect.
Aaron Jacobson.
It's going to be bad if I miss this, but is it the Jets?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Paul, let's just emphasize that Paul has how many points, Emma?
Minus 400.
Minus 400. No, he got 1,000.
Guessing.
So I don't lose
Yeah,
200. Thank you.
I'd like everyone to know that all three contestants, I have $1,000 in escrow, so this minus stuff is not going to go undealt with. So just it all goes to the TBS Men's Club.
Welcome, my account.
All right. I drink and I fetch a lot. Aaron Jacobson, you're up with 1,400 points. You and Michael Katz are tied. What would you like to go, Tampa Bay Sports or Jewish Sports?
Jump into Tampa Bay Sports, 200.
All right, Tampa Bay Sports for 200. How many times have the Bucks and Eagles met in the NFL playoffs? Michael, Aaron, Paul, anybody? Take a guess.
I'm afraid to guess.
Michael Katz.
I would say 2.
That is incorrect. You lose $200 on that. Paul, Aaron?
I was going to say 2. Keep my mouth shut.
Anybody?
Let's have some fun. I'm a gambler.
Okay, Aaron, go ahead.
Let's go 3.
That would be incorrect. Paul, you got one shot at it.
4.
4? That is correct. Paul
Hey!
is off the schneid. He's got 200, which reduces his deficit to what, 200?
Minus
Times 0.
5 to 200. Okay, so again, I know, especially for Michael being a Philly fan, those were some, and Aaron, you were a little younger, but that was a lot of fun to watch those guys under Tony Dungy really go at it year after year after year. 1979, 2000, 2002, and 2003. Those are the most prevalent years. I was doing the Scott and Jake show at the time, and that was a lot of fun. We have
Michael, what happened in 03? I forgot.
Buccaneers won 27-10, and that led them to their
Super Bowl
champion.
No, I've never forgotten that. That was a joke.
All right. So Paul, who got that? Paul, Aaron got that?
Oh, no, he didn't.
No, Paul got off the schneid. Paul, Tampa Bay. We have 4, 6, and 8, and 1,000, or Jewish sports straight across the board.
I'll do the Jewish sports for 200.
All right, Jewish sports.
Why not? That's why we're here, right?
You ready?
Ready.
With 174 career victories, this pitcher holds the record for the most ever victories by a Jewish pitcher. Who would that be?
Michael
And
Katz,
Koufax.
go.
I would say Sandy Koufax.
That would be the obvious answer, but it is incorrect. You lose $200 off your lead.
Aaron Jacobson, go.
That would have been my answer.
That would be
So-
everybody's answer. All right.
Read the question again.
I'm going to give you, I'll give you the question, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. With 174 career victories, this pitcher, Jewish pitcher, holds the record for most ever victories. He started his career with the Cubs, and he ended it with the A's. That's where he really got his prevalence, his name.
I know.
I'm going to
All
take
right,
the hit.
Paul knows the answer. Paul?
I know the answer, but it's back in here. I know.
It's a real Jewish name,
Yeah.
real Jewish. I'll give you a hint here, all right?
I
He
got
was
it.
the greatest coach that his last name is the greatest coach that the Knicks ever had.
It's Ken Holtzman.
Bingo!
Who got it?
Who got it?
Me, but I was wrong the first time. Do I get credit?
No.
Now you're out. Oh, Michael. Was that Michael?
Yeah.
Mike.
Yes.
Michael. Shame. Shame.
Shame. Yes, we do that too.
Okay, that's from Game of Thrones, which Thrones I never watched, but I know from Aaron. All right, who's the last answer to get it right? Last person.
Nobody got it.
Paul was.
All
Paul
was.
All right, Paul, you're up again. We have Tampa Bay sports 4 through 1,000, or Jewish sports 400 through 1,000 as well.
Do the Jewish sports again.
400.
400.
All right. By the way, these questions are brought to you by Emma Jones, past president, and my wife and mother of my son, participant Aaron Jacobson.
And he's only saying because he doesn't like my questions.
This one's a good one. After being offered a contract worth $5,500 a year, this player joined the Chicago Bears for the 1939 season. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1965. Who is that player? We're going back, Aaron, way before all of our times, I think,
That's tough.
other than maybe Joel.
That's a tough one.
Paul, Michael, any idea?
Okay.
Okay, Paul's up.
Bronco Nagurski.
I think I know.
We know.
Hold on one second.
Whoa.
Whoa, what happened there?
Wasn't Bronco Nagurski?
No, it was not.
Okay.
I have one from the audience if you
Paul,
want it.
you lose $400. Michael, Aaron, $200. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Paul, Michael, or Aaron, anything?
That
No, before we go to the audience, I see that Carol and Michael and Krasno know it. I'll give you one hint.
I don't need a hint. It was Sid Luckman.
Who said that?
I did. Krasno.
Krasman, you are correct.
Chicago White Sox.
Luckman. Nice Jewish boy. All right. He was an American League football player, American football player for the Bears, 1939 through 50. During his 12th season with the Bears, he led them to 4 NFL championships. There weren't Super Bowls then, 1940, 41, 43, and 46. and he was apparently to Ira Burke, who I remember reading a lot as a sports writer, was the first great T formation quarterback. Carol, Michael, thank you for your answer on that. Kudos to you guys. Who's up?
Paul,
Me again.
Oh, you still up?
No, no one's getting them right, so it's still me.
All right, Emma, why don't we give a quick update? Give us some enthusiasm. What's the scoring?
Aaron Jacobson has 1,200. Michael Katz has 1,000. And Paul has minus 400.
All right, he's moving up on the charts there. Thank you, Paul. All right, Paul, you're up. Tampa Bay sports or Jewish sports?
I'm going to go to Tampa Bay sports this time.
All right,
Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay for 400. Thank you, Emma. Thank God you're here. Hold it. I drink and I fetch a lot.
There you go.
All right. Raymond James Stadium opened its doors September 1998 with a game between the Bucks and the Chicago Bears. I was at that game, by the way. End zone seats. What event has drawn the largest crowd in Ray J history? You giving me the teams as a bonus. What event gave the largest crowd in Ray J history, which has been there since 1998, 22 years now? What event?
First up is Aaron Jacobson.
I'm going to go with the college football national championship.
And what year was that? What
That
year?
would be in 2017?
Good. Yes, you read my mind. Aaron Jacobson, college football championship, national championship game. Bonus question for, I don't know, loving kisses from M&I. Who played in the game?
It was Alabama and Clemson.
Okay, loving kisses to my son from
The bonus questions are supposed to be for the audience.
I
not for
know.
your
All
son.
right, there must be something else here.
I was having
How many
fun. I was
people-
feeling good. Was that 600?
No, that was
400.
400.
$400. All right,
Always
400 units, whatever.
for
All right, as a bonus.
the audience.
All right, as a bonus, what Super Bowl games were played at Raymond James, the other two, at Raymond James since 1998? There were two. Who played in those games? All you have to do is give me one of the matchups. Anybody?
Robert Flegler.
Robert?
That was the Ravens and the Giants, right?
That is correct. Ravens 2001. Robert, again, should be a participant. Very good. Very good. All right, Aaron, you got the answer right. We have Tampa Bay sports and Jewish sports. We have 600, 800, and 1,000 in both categories.
Go Tampa Bay sports for 600, please.
Tampa Bay sports for 600. By the way, we're recapping. I drink a lot. I fetch a lot. We are on Zoom, part of Tampa Bay, Tampa Beth Shalom's, and Andy Krinsky for doing this.
You're drinking too much.
I'm drinking too much. Emma, give us a scoring, please.
Aaron Jacobson comes in with 1,600. Michael Katz is holding at 1,000. And Paul is still at minus 400.
All right, 600, Tampa Bay sports. Who is the MVP of the 2008 World Series between Philly and Tampa Bay? Who is the MVP of the 2008 World Series between the Phillies and the Rays? Paul, Aaron, Michael, anybody?
First up is Michael Katz.
I would say Chase Utley.
That is a good guess, but incorrect. Minus
Yeah.
600.
No, minus
Aaron
200.
Jacobson.
Minus 200.
Aaron Jacobson, you're up.
It'd be Roy Halladay.
Another good answer, but incorrect. Michael, you got a shot here.
No, it was Paul's.
No.
Paul,
Yeah,
you have a
Paul,
shot.
anything?
Cole Hamels?
Paul, go ahead.
That is correct. Cole Hamels
Oh,
is
yeah.
the answer.
Oh, he's actually going to.
I don't even like the Phillies.
All right, Paul has gone into the positive now at plus 200, Emma.
Mhm.
Okay, and that was their, Michael, you would know this, that was their, as you mentioned earlier, that was their first championship in 25 years. All right, Paul, you're up. We have Tampa Bay sports, 800 or 1,000, or Jewish sports for 600, 800, or 1,000.
For 800 in Tampa Bay.
Okay, Tampa Bay sports, 800. Who is the Bucks' first-round draft pick in 2012? Here's your hint. There were two of them. Just have to name one. First round draft picks are tough. We're going back to 2012.
Anybody?
You don't have it. I'll give you one hint. For the one I know, the other guy I never heard of. And this is a Andy Krinsky.
That's how good he was.
He was a running back and a pretty decent one. Not a great one, but a pretty decent one.
Aaron Jacobson, go.
Cadillac Williams?
Good answer, but incorrect.
Way
You lose,
earlier.
$800.
No, 200.
Sorry, it's 200 deficits. My bad. Thank you, Emma. You lose 200. Paul, Michael, anything? 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go to Robert. He knows everything. Robert, you got an answer on this?
I wouldn't have known if you hadn't given the hint, but it was Doug Martin, right?
That's correct. All right. Doug Martin is the answer. Thank you, Robert. That was Robert, correct?
Yes.
Emma,
Yes.
I think you need to water down his drinks at this point in the
I
show.
think you should take
We're
over.
going to get through it.
There's a lot going on here, okay? I got things
You're
going
doing
on.
nothing. You just have to read the questions. You can't even do that
Fair enough.
correctly.
All
So
right.
Now you see why I have so much content for my show every day.
All right. I drink a lot. I fetch a lot. Thank
it's
you, Andy.
not. It's I drink and I fetch a lot.
Why-
Not I drink a
Beauty
lot
of
and
my
I
dad,
fetch a lot.
he has not gotten it right once, but that's why I love.
Well, wait. In my case, I drink a lot and I fetch a lot. All right. All right. Who's
All right,
up?
where are we?
Aaron, you were wrong on that. You lost $200.
No, 200 points.
200 units points. All right. For 1,000, we have Tampa Bay sports, or for 6, 8, or 1,000, we have Jewish sports. Aaron, what would you like?
Let's finish off with Tampa Bay sports.
Tampa Bay sports for 1,000. Name the Tampa Bay Buccaneer who has the most kickoff returns in Buccaneer history. He played from 2000 to 2003 for the Bucs. He ran the ball back, again, not as a touchdown, but touched the ball on kickoffs 100 times. Who is that player? Aaron, Paul, Michael, anybody?
I'll take a guess if nobody else wants to jump in.
Yeah, Aaron, you're the only one up. Go ahead.
Let's go Michael Spurlock. Michael, I can't hear you.
Oh, that is not correct. Paul, Michael. He was fun. I'll give you a hint. He was later picked up by the New Orleans. I don't know if he was traded or picked up, but he played for the Saints. He was good. He was also kind of a slot back, came out of the backfield, quick. Anybody in our listening audience or viewing Zoom audience?
He wasn't memorable.
Paul, you got an answer?
No, I said he wasn't memorable.
He was, anybody? Okay, I'll give you the answer. Aaron Stecker was your answer.
Bonus question.
Really?
Michael Spurlock, I think, had the first kick return for a touchdown in
Right,
Buccaneers.
it's only been like one or two.
So that would be Clifton Smith, 97 yards in 2008, had the first kick return, courtesy
Okay,
of Andy
punt return
Krinsky.
was the-
I'll give you a bonus question to anybody. Anybody can participate in this one. Who is the second in career kickoff touches? He played for the Florida Gators. That's your hint.
Robert Flegler.
Is it Jacquez Green?
Yep. But he was a former Gator. Anybody else?
Hmm.
Anthony Rydell.
Rydell.
Your answer. All right. We're down. Emma, once again, thank you for joining. I drink and I fetch a lot. Okay?
Mazel tov.
Ah,
You got it
thank you.
right.
All right. And thank you, Andy Krinsky, and of course, our participants. First, Joel and Elliot Korn, and our participants, Paul Leichter, Aaron Jacobson, and Michael Katz. Aaron, you're still up?
I believe so. Let's go.
Right, we have 3 questions left, all Jewish sports, 600, 800, and 1,000. Aaron?
Let's go Jewish sports for 600, please.
Okay. Jewish sports for 600. We go back to the Florida Gators.
No.
Know what?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
This
ahead.
Gator is the most decorated Jewish Olympian of all time with 12 Olympic medals, 4 gold, 4 silver, 4 bronze. She won at least one medal in each of the 5 Olympics, which is incredible, in which she competed. This is probably the toughest question we have, harder than the last call. Who would that swimmer be? That's a hint.
Nobody so far.
Aaron Jacobson.
Paul, you're up. Go.
Michael Katz.
Garrett Torres?
See, everyone said it was a tough question.
It wasn't. Anybody else?
It's a tough
Just nod.
question.
See you on Zoom. Tough question, right?
Tough question.
All right, nobody's nodding. All right.
I am. I'm nodding. I'm nodding.
I'm losing the audience. That's all. My bad. All right. Who's Aaron? You still up?
I didn't get that right.
Oh,
No.
Paul got that right.
That was Paul.
All right, Paul. You got. What is that for? How much?
600.
All right. Give us an update on the scoring, please, Emma Jones.
Okay, well, Aaron is moving in the wrong direction. He's at 1,000. Michael Katz also, no, Michael Katz is at 40. No, sorry, Michael Katz is at 800. And Paul is at 800 now.
All right. Paul's moving up on the leaders here.
Got a
You're
close
up,
game.
Paul. $800. We have 2 questions left, both in Jewish sports. 800 or 1,000.
We'll do the 800 first.
All right, Jewish sports for 800. In 2019, this basketball team got rid of their oh, God, what a question this is. This baseball team got rid of their kosher stand or concession stand in their stadium, which had been operating since 1998 for 22 years, over a dispute of a small raise request. This is stereotype of us Jewish people. A small raise requested by the kosher supervisor. What team would that be? You need the question again. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely more clear.
In 2019, this baseball team got rid of their kosher stand in their stadium, which had been there since 1998 because of a dispute of a small raise requested by the kosher supervisor. What baseball team would that be? Paul, Aaron, Michael. All right, I'll give you one. I'll give you a hint. We'll start off with an American League team. Still nothing, huh?
I'm going to learn something today, though. That's good.
It's going to be in a big city.
We've got Josh Melitz if you don't have one of the participants.
I'm going to give you one more. Before we go to Scott, I'll give you one more hint. The name could, in the political stages that we're at now, this last name, the team name, could be somewhat disputed or questioned. Baseball team who got
Aaron Jacobson, go.
The Cleveland Indians.
That would be correct. Let's give Jake Jacobson credit. That would be me for a nice hint there.
You're great.
Okay.
You're a man.
Aaron, Emma, a quick update before we get to our last question and then the last call question.
Aaron Jacobson has stormed into the major league lead with 1,800.
You're not even drinking anything.
And we have Michael Katz and Paul both at 800.
Okay. Aaron, for 1,000. Guys, you need to step this one up.
They could tie it up.
Forget what I said before. I should throw this question out because nobody, including our Zoom audience, will know this answer. Guaranteed. Ralph and Arnold Horween were Jewish brothers who played pro football in 1923. These Jewish brothers are the first to play pro football since the Horween brothers. Who are these brother combination to play NFL football since the Horween brothers?
I bet you Aaron's going to get it.
Nobody knows this answer.
Aaron is going to get it.
Aaron
is going to get it.
Don't back me up with that question. That's wild.
Paul, Michael, anything?
Nobody so far.
All right.
Aaron, you're going to kick yourself with this one.
It was a Kansas City Chiefs lineman and.
Is that the hint?
That's a hint. One of them was a Kansas City Chiefs lineman. We're going back to 1923.
No. Read the question.
Oh, since 1923.
All right, Aaron Jacobson, go.
Go with the Schwartz brothers.
Thank you, Aaron.
That would be correct. Let's give that back.
You guys have been great.
All right. For bonus points to anybody who wants to, or just again, love and affection, What were their first names, the brothers?
Oh boy.
Anybody?
Jeff won, Jeff Schwartz.
Jeff? Jeff is one. Second one? Michael? Anybody? Mitchell would be the answer. What?
I don't know why you think that's such a tough question. One of them's currently playing for Kansas City.
That's actually a good question.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, we're going to the last call question.
Wait a minute.
Before we go, I have a question.
Yes,
I want to know, for the sake of engraving the Mordecai Cup, did Josh, did you know that it was the Cleveland Indians?
No, I was going to guess Fenway Park.
Okay, sorry. I was going to put your name on the cup, but maybe next year.
All right, so before we do this, as in Jeopardy, you're going to give it a certain amount of units or numbers that you have. So Emma, tell everybody what their points are at this point.
Aaron is at 1,800, Michael is at 800, and Paul is at 800.
Okay, so guys, write down the amounts that you're going to participate in this last question. And then I'll give you our question, and we will have an answer to the Yiddish Cup very shortly. Are you guys all ready? You have your numbers in? Don't tell me yet. It's a good question, Emma. Emma did this question. In 1985, this person became the first professional athlete ever to appear on the front. Again, front of a Wheatie box. There's been some on the side, in the back, but the first to be on the front of the Wheatie box, and he has to be a professional player. 1985. Who is that player that was on the front of the Wheaties box?
He's a player or an athlete?
Well, he's a professional athlete. I'm not giving you the sport yet. That will be a second hint. Michael,
You
all have to do a wager, and then you're all going to put up. Does anybody have any idea? If not, I'll give you a hint.
No, they have to write it down.
I know they have to write it down. No hint.
You didn't say, did you say a professional sports team? Did you say that?
Professional sports player, any sport. The first one in 1985 was on the front of the Wheaties box.
Michael, put your jingle on your phone. We gotta have some music for Final Jeopardy.
Oh, you didn't hear it all this time?
No, it's really low.
Oh, sorry.
All right, I'm going to give you the question one more time. In 1985, this person became the first professional athlete ever to appear on the front of a Wheaties box. Is everybody ready for the amount? And then we'll get their answer. Aaron, are you ready?
Yes.
Paul?
I have no idea.
He has no idea. Michael?
You don't know what they're wagering.
He tells what
Get
sport.
to that in a second. I want to know first.
Give a hint of what sport.
All right, let's get do you want me to get, Andy, I'll let you rule on this. Do you want me to throw out the sport?
As a hint, for Final Jeopardy, I think you can give them one hint, and then we may have an answer from the audience.
Okay, 1985, this player was the first to appear on the front of a Wheaties box. He was a Major League Baseball player. I'll give you 10 seconds. Come up with an answer, and then we'll go with how many units you're putting up, and then we'll get the answers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Throw out a number. All right. Aaron, how much have you wagered?
I wagered 200.
Okay.
And for the
Paul,
integrity,
don't give me an answer yet. Paul, how much you wagered? 700. Michael?
800.
$800 for Michael.
800 points.
All right. 800 points. Sorry.
Aaron, what did you have?
Aaron, who is the
for
answer?
the integrity of the game, I already put my answer down before the hint. I know he's not a baseball player. I was thinking Bears, 85. I went Walter Payton.
Okay. Who would you have thought if it was a baseball player?
Well, let's
I'll
see.
get to everybody. I'm running the show here.
Gee, badly, very badly.
Good point. That's a tough one. 85. I'd have to think.
All right. You're out. Paul, what do you, who do you have? How much? And if you have 700 for who? Hank Aaron, that would be incorrect. Michael, you're up.
Ricky Henderson.
That would be incorrect. All right. Does anybody in our viewing audience have an idea? If not, I'm going to give you a hint.
I think someone put in before me. Did someone?
I saw Eric and
Eric.
Yeah, I see Eric Ferber and then Robert Flegler.
Eric?
Okay, you said any sport, so.
No, we said baseball.
Oh, okay, then I withdraw. I thought if it was any sport, I was going to say Bruce Jenner, but it's not baseball, so I withdraw.
That's an excellent guess. Of course, a triathlon winner in the Olympics. All right, Josh, is it? Jeff?
No, Robert.
Robert, go ahead.
1985, I'm going to guess Pete Rose.
That would be correct. Once again, Robert comes through in the clutch.
Can I ask my other last call question?
Emma wants to ask, I had an alternative last call question. Go ahead, Emma.
I just thought this was so appropriate for Temple Beth Sholom, and obviously it was vetoed because it was too difficult, well, considered too difficult, which I don't agree with. But this is the question. ESPN ranked Team Israel to be the biggest underdog in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. They were dubbed the Jamaican bobsled team of the WBC. Team Israel's roster included this Rays relief pitcher who pitched 2 scoreless, hitless innings in the 2020 World Series that we have just enjoyed. Who is that relief pitcher?
Interesting question.
Thank you, Aaron.
I'll be coming home for dinner soon. Huh.
I told Emma Joels that this question, again, could not be answered.
Relief pitcher just pitched in the World Series, 2020 World Series.
I think Dana Core knows that answer. Dana, do you know it? She's no. She's shaking now. Paul, you have an answer?
Paul's up.
Anybody?
Paul said Oliver Drake, I believe.
That is incorrect.
That's a good question.
What is it? Horrible.
It's a great question.
Thank you.
I know the Dodger who played for Israel.
You know the what?
World Series. Jack Peterson was the Dodger who played for Israel in the World Baseball Classic. He's in the World Series.
All right, doesn't look like anybody has an answer. We appreciate you not Googling it. Emma, would you like to give the answer to that? If anybody knows this, raise your hand. If not, Emma?
Oh, I thought it was Ryan Sharif.
Oh, Ryan Sheriff, new sheriff in town.
No, I had no idea. No idea.
I didn't either.
Well, can anybody name, Aaron would know this one, any of the players on the roster of the 2017
Ike Davis?
Team Israel? What, Aaron?
Ike Davis?
Of course.
Right, Jack Peterson. One of them.
I didn't have him on the roster.
I didn't even know he was Jewish.
I didn't either until I saw him playing.
And Ike Davis's real name is Isaac Benjamin Davis.
And his father was a relief pitcher for the New York Yankees, as Joel Servitz would attest to. Correct, Joel?
Anything you say.
Okay, thank you. All right, Andy, I just want to end this. Aaron Jacobson wins the, is that correct, Adam? He wins the
We didn't even go to the scores. Yes, we had Aaron Jacobson finishing with 1,600. Michael Katz finished at 0, but not minus. And Paul finished with 100.
All right. Aaron Jacobson, congratulations on the first of hopefully many, many Temple Beth Sholom Yiddish cups. I drink and I fetch a lot. And thank you.
You finally got it right. That was the last one. You got it.
All right. We do appreciate it. Andy Krinsky, Joel Servitz, and Elliot Korn, thank you for putting all this together. I know, Andy, you did a really expert job of setting this up.
Yeah.
Aaron Jacobson, your winner, and Paul Leichter and Michael Katz, thank you for participating. And for all you Zoom viewers, thank you for watching. Andy, any last comments?
Again, just to thank everyone. Aaron, thank you so much for being a part of this, and and Paul and Michael, thanks for putting your necks out there. Emma, thanks for being married to Jake and getting us through this.
And keeping him straight.
I want to thank Emma and Jake for the entertainment. It was
Yeah.
It's been over an hour. I know how that goes with Zooms. You know, while we have Aaron and Jake, if anyone has any questions, I'm sure they'll take a few questions. But for as far as I'm concerned, we're done. I thank everyone for tuning in, and if anyone has a question for our radio people.
Go Birds.
Well done. Well done.
All right. Thank you.
Good job,
Well done.
everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys, and
Yeah.
be safe to
And
all.
stay safe. Everybody stay safe.
Good job.